Have you ever wondered what separates the people who simply grow old from the ones who grow old with grace? Not just living longer, but living better. Waking up with energy, with clarity, and the strength to still drive, garden, laugh, and love at 90 or beyond. It's not luck. It's not expensive medication. And no, it's not just about good genes. Let me tell you about Eleanor. At 64, she lost her husband, struggled with prediabetes, and quietly feared that the best part of her life had already passed. But something shifted when she attended a wellness workshop one rainy Thursday in Milwaukee. She heard something that felt like a whisper from the future. What you do in the first hour after you wake up determines how you age. That one sentence planted a seed. Over the next few months, Eleanor changed a few small things each morning. Just a handful of gentle habits. Nothing dramatic, nothing expensive. But day by day, her spark returned. Today, Eleanor is 91. She walks without a cane. She volunteers twice a week, and she says the best chapter of her life started after 65. So in this video, I want to share with you 7 simple morning habits that hundreds of vibrant 90-year-olds have in common. These are science-backed, real-life proven, and surprisingly easy to start. Even tomorrow morning. You won't need to buy anything. You won't need a fitness coach, and one of these habits takes just 30 seconds, but could add years to your life. If you're someone in your 60s or beyond, and you believe the rest of your story still holds meaning, still holds hope, then keep watching, because this might just change everything. Habit 1, drink water before anything else. Before you check your phone, before you brew your coffee, before your feet even touch the floor, there's something your body is quietly begging for. Water. Think about it. You've just spent 7 or 8 hours breathing, sweating, dreaming, without a single sip of hydration. And yet for most people, the first thing we give our body in the morning is caffeine or sugar. But here's the quiet truth. When you delay water, you're unknowingly starting your day in a state of internal drought. Your blood thickens, your heart works harder, your kidneys strain, your brain fogs over. Dr. Elaine Mercer, a nephrologist who studies aging at Johns Hopkins, puts it this way: skipping water in the morning is like trying to drive a car with syrup in the gas tank. Let me tell you about Frank. At 70, he felt constantly tired, foggy-headed, and was told his kidney function was declining. He figured it was just part of aging. Then his granddaughter, studying nutrition, begged him to try one thing. Keep a glass of water by your bed. Drink it the moment you wake up, every morning. Frank shrugged, but he tried it. For 60 days, that simple habit became as automatic as brushing his teeth. At his next checkup, his doctor was stunned. Kidney numbers improved. Blood pressure leveled out. His energy? Like flipping a switch, he told me. So how much and when? Start with 16 ounces of room temperature water. That's about 1 tall glass. Don't wait to go to the kitchen. Prepare it the night before. Place it on your nightstand. Make it your very first act of care for your body, like saying, "Thank you for carrying me through another day." Room temperature is important. Cold water can jolt your nervous system, and make it just water. Not lemon, not honey, not infused. Your organs are waking up. They don't need anything fancy, just hydration. You may not feel thirsty, but your cells are. And if you're over 60, your thirst signals become less accurate, making this even more vital. Hydrating first thing helps. Flush toxins from your kidneys. Kickstart digestion gently. Lubricate stiff joints. Thin your blood, easing pressure on your heart and brain. What if this one habit, just 1 glass of water, could delay cognitive decline, protect your heart, lighten your mood? It sounds too simple, but nature doesn't need to be complicated to be powerful. Tomorrow morning, your body will ask for something. Will you answer? Let this be your first act of love for the body that's carried you through storms, joys, grief, and laughter for all these years. Habit 2, step into the morning light before the world wakes up fully. There's a quiet kind of medicine waiting just beyond your doorstep. It costs nothing. It takes only minutes. but its power can ripple through every system in your body, especially as you age. I'm talking about natural morning light. For most of us, the first light we see is artificial, phone screens, overhead bulbs, or the dim flicker of a TV. But your brain was never designed to wake up that way. Inside your eyes, behind the pupils, are special cells that don't help you see. They help you heal. They respond only to the blue light of early morning sun. And when they're activated, they send a signal to your brain. It's morning. It's time to reset the clock. Let's repair. Dr. Alan Brigham, a circadian health expert, describes it this way. Morning sunlight is not just about vision. It's the master switch for your metabolism, your sleep rhythm, and your hormone balance. Let me tell you about Rosa. She was 76, a retired school librarian, and hadn't slept through the night in over a decade. She tried everything: melatonin, white noise machines, herbal teas. Nothing worked for long. One day, a new doctor asked her something strange. "Do you get sunlight within 30 minutes of waking?" She laughed. "I don't even go outside till afternoon." So the doctor gave her one task. Go sit outside for 10 minutes within half an hour of waking. Every morning, cloudy or sunny. She started sitting on her porch with a blanket and her coffee. By week 2, she noticed she was falling asleep faster. By week 4, she was sleeping through the night for the first time in years. But what surprised her most? Her afternoon exhaustion disappeared. Her blood pressure improved. She even smiled more. "I didn't know light could be medicine," she said. You see, when you step outside in the morning, your body starts producing melatonin on time, helping you sleep better that night. Cortisol, the stress hormone, is regulated naturally instead of spiking erratically. Your mood gets a boost as serotonin levels increase. Even on cloudy days, outdoor light is 50 to 100 times brighter than indoor bulbs. And if you live in a colder area or can't go outside easily, even opening a window and facing east can help. In darker seasons, you might consider a medically approved light therapy lamp. But remember, real sunlight is always the gold standard. This isn't just about better sleep. It's about signaling every cell in your body to align with the natural rhythm it was designed for. When you skip this cue, your system stays confused. You eat at the wrong times, feel tired at noon, and your organs miss their repair window. So tomorrow, before the world distracts you, before emails or chores, open your door. Let the light touch your skin. Let your brain remember that it's morning. And give your body the reset it craves, because sometimes the most healing things aren't pills or procedures. They're as simple as stepping into the light. Habit 3, wake your body with gentle movement. There's a moment right after you rise when your body speaks quietly. You feel it in the stiffness of your knees, the tightness in your lower back, the hesitation of your ankles as they touch the floor. That's not just aging, that's your body whispering, "Please don't start the day in stillness again." You see, after hours of sleep, your joints aren't just cold, they're dry. Your lymph fluid is stagnant, your circulation is slow. And what most people do? They wait. They sit down with coffee, scroll through news, and tell themselves they'll move later. But the longer you wait, the more inflammation builds. The more your joints feel older than they are. Dr. Melissa Chan, a specialist in aging mobility, explains it simply. 5 minutes of morning movement does more to protect your joints than most supplements ever will. You're either waking up your body or you're letting it harden. Let me introduce you to Clarence. At 68, Clarence was preparing for double knee surgery. Years of arthritis, desk work, and sedentary mornings had left him stiff and in near constant pain. But a conversation with a physical therapist changed everything. "Start your day moving," the therapist said. "Not running, not stretching hard, just moving gently before breakfast." So Clarence started small, arm circles while still in bed, neck rolls, marching in place by the kitchen sink. He called it his joint wake-up ritual. 3 months later, his pain had reduced so significantly that surgery was put on hold. 6 months in, he was hiking again, slowly but proudly. His doctor said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Here's what Clarence and hundreds like him did. Begin after your morning water and before any food or coffee. Spend 5 to 10 minutes in motion. No equipment needed, just your body and a willingness to listen. Try this simple flow. Roll your ankles in slow circles. Sway your hips side to side. Lift your arms and rotate your shoulders gently. If balance allows, bend forward slowly or touch your knees. March softly in place, letting your arms swing. The goal isn't exercise, it's lubrication. You're telling your body, I'm here, let's move through the day together. If you live with chronic stiffness or have limited mobility, even seated movements work wonders. The key is flow, breath, and consistency, because this brief ritual does more than ease your joints. It activates autophagy, your body's natural cleanup system, reduces markers of inflammation, signals to your nervous system that you're safe to heal, and most importantly, it helps you reclaim the joy of movement. Not for fitness, but for freedom. Tomorrow morning, before your toast, before the news, before the day claims your energy, give yourself this quiet gift. Move gently. Move with love. Move like someone who plans to dance with their great-grandkids one day, because you just might. Habit 4, the 30-second breath that rewires your body. There's something most people do over 20,000 times a day and never think twice about it: breathing. But here's the truth. How you breathe in the first few minutes of your morning may quietly shape your entire day. Your stress, your focus, even how fast you age. When you wake up, your body's in a fragile state of transition. Your nervous system is waiting for a signal. Are we safe or are we in danger? And guess what? Most of us send the wrong message. We jolt up, check emails, scroll the news, spike adrenaline, and breathe fast, shallow, and anxious before we've even had breakfast. But it doesn't have to be this way. Let me tell you about Margaret. At 73, she was sharp, active, but lived in a constant hum of tension. She couldn't explain it. Everything felt like an emergency, she told me. Her doctor prescribed blood pressure meds. Her therapist suggested meditation. But nothing clicked, until her daughter introduced her to a morning breathing practice used in longevity studies in Japan and Sardinia. The first time she tried it, Margaret thought, this can't possibly do anything. But something shifted. After just a week, her mornings felt calmer. After a month, her blood pressure readings dropped. By the third month, she stopped calling herself a stressed person. What changed? 30 seconds of intentional breath. You see, when you breathe deeply and rhythmically right after waking, you stimulate your vagus nerve, a powerful regulator of inflammation, heartbeat, and digestion. You tell your body, it's okay. We're safe. We can repair today, not just survive. This shifts your biology from fight or flight into rest and restoration, and that changes everything. Here's the simple technique Margaret and many centenarians use. The 4 to 7-8 breath, just 30 seconds. Inhale quietly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold that breath for 7 seconds. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 8 seconds, making a soft whoosh sound. Repeat the cycle 3 to 4 times. That's it. No apps, no equipment, just you and your breath. But behind that simplicity lies measurable power. Lowered cortisol, stress hormone, reduced blood pressure, improved emotional regulation, better heart rate variability, a major marker of healthy aging. Want to deepen the effect? Do this while sitting by a window or outside in the morning light, right after your glass of water. You may be tempted to skip it. It seems too easy. But remember, simple things done consistently retrain your biology. And if something as small as 30 seconds of breath could give your heart a break, quiet your mind, and restore your nervous system, wouldn't that be worth it? Tomorrow morning, don't rush into the noise. Breathe. Breathe like someone who still believes peace is possible at any age, because it is, and it begins with the breath you take next. Habit 5, eat a breakfast that feeds your future. If your mornings begin with toast and coffee, if you reach for cereal, a muffin, or just skip breakfast altogether, you might be unknowingly aging your body faster, one morning at a time. We often hear, you are what you eat. But what most people don't realize is, you age how you eat, especially in the morning. You see, your first meal of the day acts like a metabolic domino. It sets the tone for how your blood sugar behaves, how your cells repair themselves, and even how your brain functions in the hours that follow. Let me tell you about Jim. He was 69, lived alone, and had never considered himself unhealthy. He wasn't overweight, he stayed fairly active, but his doctor had just told him he was borderline diabetic and showing signs of low-grade inflammation, an early marker for many age-related diseases. He was shocked. "I thought I was doing okay," he said. The only consistent habit Jim had, a breakfast of buttered toast and strong black coffee. He thought it was harmless, but his nutritionist suggested something simple. Swap that for a breakfast rich in protein and fiber. Just for 30 days. So Jim started having Greek yogurt with chia seeds and berries, or scrambled eggs with sautéed spinach and a side of avocado. Sometimes just a plant-based protein shake with some oats and cinnamon. Within weeks, the results were undeniable. Energy improved, no more mid-morning crashes. His labs, back in the normal range. His doctor raised his eyebrows. "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." So what makes this kind of breakfast different? It reduces insulin spikes, which are linked to faster aging. Lowers systemic inflammation, a hidden driver of heart disease, memory decline, and joint pain. Supports lean muscle maintenance, critical for balance and mobility over 60. Keeps you fuller, longer, preventing unhealthy snacking. Later, Dr. Valerie Hines, a researcher in nutritional aging, says it best. Protein and fiber at breakfast send a biological message. We're building, not breaking down today. Here's a simple formula to follow. Your longevity breakfast blueprint. 20-30 grams of protein, eggs, Greek yogurt, tofu, beans, or a clean protein powder. 8 to 10 grams of fiber, berries, oats, chia, flax, or cooked veggies. Healthy fats, avocado, olive oil, nuts, or seeds. No refined carbs or sugars before 10 a.m. If that sounds like a big shift, remember, you're not eating more food. You're eating smarter food, and you don't need to be perfect. Even shifting 3 to 4 days a week can create meaningful changes in how you feel and how your body responds to aging. Tomorrow morning, when you reach for something quick or familiar, pause, ask yourself, is this food going to fuel my healing or feed my decline? Your body is still capable of rebuilding, of balancing hormones, of protecting your brain, your heart, your joints. But it needs the right tools, and they start on your breakfast plate. Habit 6. Start your morning with a voice that matters. What if the most powerful supplement for longevity wasn't a pill, wasn't a smoothie, wasn't even a walk, but rather a simple good morning to someone who cares? For decades, we've known that human connection keeps us well. But now science shows that when that connection happens, matters just as much as if it happens. Dr. Robert Klein, who leads aging studies at Harvard, explains, morning social contact acts like an emotional anchor. It stabilizes your mood, immune system, and heart rhythms for the entire day. And it doesn't need to be deep or dramatic. Even a few minutes can create ripples in your biology that last for hours. Let me tell you about Doris and Hal. Doris is 85, Hal is 87. They live in the same retirement community in Oregon. They're not married, not even particularly close. But every morning, rain or shine, they meet on the front bench at 7:30 a.m. They sit quietly, exchange a few words, sometimes they just nod. "I don't even know what we talk about most days," Hal once said. "But if she's not there, I feel off balance all day." Doris smiled and added, "He makes the world feel less far away." These small rituals, so easy to dismiss, are actually powerful tools of survival. Loneliness, especially in the morning, has been linked to higher levels of inflammation, poorer immune response, greater risk of cardiovascular events, faster mental decline. But the good news, you don't need a long chat or a big social circle. You just need consistency and warmth. Here are some ways to bring this into your mornings. Call a friend or family member, even just for 3 minutes. Share a cup of coffee with your spouse and ask one intentional question. Send a kind voice message to a grandchild or neighbor. Smile and speak to the barista, the dog walker, the mail carrier. If you live alone, consider a routine check-in group, a weekly breakfast, a phone circle, or even a shared journal with a loved one. The goal isn't quantity, it's quality plus intention. Because the moment you speak with someone you trust, your brain releases oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone. And oxytocin doesn't just make you feel good. It lowers blood pressure, boosts immunity, and protects the heart. It tells your nervous system, you're not alone. You're supported, you're safe. So tomorrow morning, before the day sweeps you away, reach out, speak, listen, smile. Make space for even a small spark of connection. Because growing older doesn't mean growing apart. And sometimes the most healing sentence you can hear is, I'm glad you're here. Habit 7, begin with gratitude that speaks to your body. Some mornings it's hard to feel grateful. The stiffness in your back, the empty chair across the kitchen table, the memories that visit uninvited. And yet in the quiet of those early hours, there's a practice that can change how your body and your heart move through the day. It's called directed gratitude. And it's not the vague, just be thankful advice you've heard 1,000 times. This is specific, powerful, and most importantly, doable. It takes just 2 minutes, and it can rewire how your body experiences aging. Let me introduce you to Lenora. She was 74 when her doctor grew concerned about her rising blood pressure. Medication wasn't helping much. Her stress was high, sleep was broken, but what troubled her most wasn't physical, it was emotional. I had stopped trusting my body, she said. I woke up every day expecting something to go wrong. At the suggestion of a therapist, Lenora began a practice of morning gratitude, but with a twist. Instead of listing random blessings, she focused on her body. Each morning, she placed a hand over her chest, took a breath, and whispered thanks. Not to the world, not to fate, but to herself. To her legs for still holding her weight. To her eyes for letting her see her daughter smile. To her heart for beating, despite the years of grief and love and wear. 3 months in, her doctor asked, what changed? Her blood pressure was down. Her sleep had improved. Her face looked softer, more alive. Lenora smiled and said, I started telling my body I was grateful, and it started listening. Neuroscientists at Yale now confirm what Lenora discovered. Morning gratitude, practiced specifically and consistently, leads to reduced cortisol, the body's main stress hormone, improved heart rate variability, a sign of emotional resilience, increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for decision-making, calm, and clarity. Here's how to begin. 2-minute directed gratitude practice. After your breathing exercise, place a hand over your heart or stomach. Say, out loud or silently, 3 specific things you're grateful for in your body. Not vague like I'm grateful to be alive, but vivid and personal. I'm thankful for my knees, even if they ache, because they still carry me. I'm grateful for my lungs, breathing without asking permission. I'm thankful for my hands, still able to hold my grandson's hand. This is not about perfection, it's about relationship. Rebuilding trust between you and the body that's walked every mile of your story. And what you may find, quietly, gently, is that your body starts responding differently, not with rebellion, but with relief. Because it too wants to feel seen, valued, loved. Gratitude done right is not just a mood booster. It's a physiological signal to your immune system, your heart, and your brain. We're okay, let's keep going. So tomorrow morning, don't just rush into the day. Sit, breathe, thank your body, not because it's perfect, but because it's still showing up for you. And if that's not worth being grateful for, what is? Final message, your morning, your legacy. So now you know, not just what helps people live longer, but what helps them live better. And it's not found in expensive programs, miracle pills, or extreme routines. It's hidden in the gentle, quiet hours of your morning. 7 simple habits: a glass of water, a few minutes in the sun, some light movement, a deep breath, a nourishing breakfast, a kind voice, and a moment of gratitude. These aren't just routines, they're acts of love. Messages you send to your body that say, I still care, I still choose to live fully. You don't need to do all 7 tomorrow. Walter started with just 2. Lenora with 1. Start where you are, choose 1 habit, 1 change, 1 signal to your future self. Because your body's always listening. Because your story isn't finished. And because aging doesn't have to mean fading, it can mean deepening. It can mean returning to what matters most. If you found hope in this video, share it. Not because of algorithms, but because someone you love may need this reminder too. And if you'd like more science-backed, heart-forward guidance like this, consider subscribing. We're building a space where aging isn't feared, it's honored. Your mornings are more powerful than you think, and tomorrow could be the first of many better days. So what will you do when you wake up?